All right, y'all. Greetings and salutations. Always great to see y'all. Another episode of Fangs up here. Had to turn my volume down in my ears. That's why I paused. Like, oh, that was loud. But that was me. In this episode, though, y'all, a lot going on in relation to Florida A&M University, and y'all know on the YouTube and the live stream, we condense it a little bit. Try to keep it down to about 30 minutes. Let me move closer to the microphone so I'm easier to hear. All right, so FAMU's linebacker room is the point of conversation, and the linebacker room is on Swole. We have quite a few linebackers, probably more linebackers than we have position that are high quality players. But we're going to start off by talking about the recent news that is the acquisition or addition of Trey Fisher, that is Jimbo's son. And I hate to kind of say it like that because the kid has a name. He's a 5'11", 180-pound quarterback. He's transferring from University of Tennessee, Martin, but he played high school at Godby. And if you are familiar, they, I believe they went to the playoffs that year. I actually got to see when they came to Orlando and played. They played Edgewater High School, and for me, this season, this conversation about Trey is somewhat a filler. And it's not because he's not a good quarterback or anything like that, but it's because it's so late in the season. He is probably going to come in to help fill in a role for depth, as well as if his some of his family is still in town, that may have an impact as well. But most importantly, you already have two quarterbacks here, really three, that are going away leaders of the pack. You have McKay, to me, the leader of the locker room, most experienced quarterback as far as knowledge of the offense and everything like that. But then you have Musa. To me, Musa is the best pure quarterback as far as throwing motion and things like that. Just that's just me in my opinion and what my eyes saw at the spring game. Then you also have Junior Muratovic. Junior is returning. He is from Wekiva High School in metropolitan Orlando, but Junior took over during part of the Orange Blossom Classic. And we also saw that Junior started the first half of that Fort Valley State game. So I think Trey is coming in for depth as well as competition really for next year. FAMU is on pace to have three, maybe four quarterbacks returning from this year's roster. Obviously, McKay and Musa are not going to be those quarterbacks because they're both seniors. But kind of talking about Trey is just to me trying to write a little something during the dead period, fill in a little information. No slight to the kid, he's he's got some level of talent, but I feel like especially him coming in this late in the season, hopefully he's able to redshirt if he's not done so before and compete for next year. That seems like the most fair thing to do for the student. Having him come this late in the season, mm, I don't know if that's really fair to expect him by like game 2 or 3 to compete for the starting job. Now, also, FAMU did offer a few guys last night. They actually offered some people about an hour or two ago, and I haven't kept up the graphics as of yet. I will do a little something later in the day. But two of the players that were offered were Dekin, Dirk, Dedrick Lattilus, and y'all got to forgive me. Look, if you saw his name, you'd be like me. You need to have that familiarity. And I'm sorry for messing it up. He's a 5'9", 170-pound athlete from New Iberia, Louisiana. I think New Iberia is where they make the Louisiana hot sauce at. And he attends Westgate High. But the thing is, he's a Louisiana Tech commit. Issue with that is obviously FAMU has not been getting a lot of commitments from the students that have been offered and visiting within the last couple of weeks. So this is another one where he's a 2023 recruit, but he's already committed to a program that's able to have a better hand on its resources. Louisiana Tech, while they are not Florida State, Florida, or Miami, comparably, when you're looking at them compared to FAMU, they have better resources. They receive more money from their conference, and they have a higher athletic budget. So we're going to see how that works, and whether they're going to stay in Conference USA. I think we'll see how the Sun Belt thing goes. Next one is going to be Ethan Kreit. He's a 6'2", 180-pound receiver from Roswell, Georgia, attends Roswell High School, 2023 recruit. And you're continuing to see Florida A&M University is continuing to stay in the state of Georgia. I say continuing twice in the same sentence, but it's a hot recruiting ground for FAMU. It's a place where the players are able to easily come home and come to campus, and their families can visit. Part of the purpose of having an athletic program is getting supporters, and it's much easier to get people to support your program when the games are in driving distance. If it's 4 hours to your football game, maybe an hour or two, definitely. 12, 13 hours to a game, not very likely the parents are coming. So that's the big news as far as football, but there's more. If you haven't seen, there's some videos where the facilities are being shown off and other things like that. And that's what we need. We need that kind of publicity and that kind of press for the program. Also, FAMU baseball, we lost a good one, y'all. And we lost him to TCC. Our pitching coach, Brian Henry, is a graduate of Florida State University, and he had been at FAMU for about 8 years. And no problems with him. Coach was really cool, but TCC was able to snag him. And congratulations to Coach Henry. Good on him. Great for him and his family. But I definitely feel some type of way as a fan when the community colleges are plucking our assistants. Mm, I want him to get that opportunity. And I wouldn't be surprised, depending on what Coach Shoop wants to do as far as his time at FAMU, if Brian Henry's not a name that we don't hear again, especially if he has any kind of success at Tallahassee Community College. The guy is familiar with the program. He knows what it takes to be successful. He's seen it grow from being a program that was average to not very good to being a competitive baseball program. FAMU, at least in the SWAC, can compete. And in the MEAC, we were a top 2 or 3 team. And so this year, FAMU made a run to the playoffs as far as the conference playoffs, I should say. It's not the major playoffs. Went pretty far. Should have beat Southern one of them times. I'm just going to say. But we're able to see that coaches are continuing to come to Florida A&M University, and after they leave FAMU, there are opportunities for them to go greater, uh, go and do better things. I should say. We saw where Coach Black, the football coach, goes from FAMU to the Los Angeles Rams, and this is something that continues to happen. And FAMU has to be a breeding ground for people that want to be successful and people that want to not just grow but go. We can't anticipate people to spend 30 or 40 years at Florida A&M University. That's not what it's here for. We want them to be great. We want them to enjoy their time. And we want to see coaches like Coach Henry come, dedicate themselves to FAMU, and then after they've dedicated themselves to FAMU, to leave and go and get a promotion. Him becoming the head coach at TCC, and TCC has nice facilities. I, I would compare them to FAMU's, and maybe they might be better in some places. But again, Tallahassee Community College is large. TCC had about 20,000 students last time I checked. That's twice as many as FAMU, and they're investing. They continue to put back into their programs, the programs they do have. They're not trying to get a football program or anything, but baseball wise, nice facilities. Softball wise and basketball wise, the Eagle Dome is the Eagle Dome. It ain't the greatest, but for community college, it's solid, especially in a town where nobody's basketball crazy. Like FSU has a top 25 team and they're not selling out the Tucker Center. What are we talking about here? So that we're able to see that FAMU continues to be a breeding ground for growth and promotion for those that are interested in doing better, especially the field of coaching. So we're seeing in both football and baseball, this is happening. Now let's go inside the den. And again, y'all know on the YouTube live stream, we condense it. We try to make it so that you can get it in 30 minutes, maybe even less. I ain't no Domino's man, but I try to keep it simple. Now inside the den, it's kind of split. I got the top returning linebackers that you need to know about, and I got two guys you sleeping on. And I'm telling you right now, these two guys, you look at their stats and you're like, oh, really? Okay. Let me see what's up with that guy. All right, let's pull up the stats because y'all know I like stats, I like data, and I don't want to just be up here just speaking without authority, as one of my professors once stated when I was at Florida A&M University. Oh, Mr. Hadley, are you speaking with authority? Yes, sir, Dr. Brown. Or no, sir, Dr. Brown. That was probably my favorite professor at Florida A&M University, Dr. Titus Brown. He was awesome. And ooh, that's a sneak preview for the next one. Y'all ain't ready for that. Anyways, and let me see if I can make it to where you can see a little better. Hopefully, you can see it. Yeah, I'm looking at it the same way you are. So, again, if you're not familiar, your first time watching, I have three screens. I have a laptop screen, and then my wife bequeathed her her dual monitors to me because she wasn't using them. So I was like, well, I'll take them. So as you guys can see, I have my stats. I actually pulled these stats from Florida A&M University and the sports website. Shout out to the athletic department and the people who keep stats. The first person is the man, the myth, the legend, the man from Buffalo. And the hockey draft is on, and he's not a Saber. Isaiah Ladd. Isaiah Ladd is number 31. And so if you kind of like me, some of us, you gotta what's his number? What's it? Wait. Oh, who that is? So Isaiah Land is number 31. And if you don't know who he is and you're a FAMU fan, you're a bandwagon fan. Or you just like the band. But Isaiah Land is number 31. He's a 6'4, 215-pound senior from the powerhouse in Atlanta, metropolitan Atlanta. Grayson High School, they routinely have multiple Division One athletes. And I'm not saying multiple like five or six. I'm talking 10 to 15. Like they produce a lot of athletes. But Isaiah's from Buffalo, New York. Last year, he played in 12 games. He had 32 solo tackles, 11 assists, 43 total. And this number is stupid. He had 19 sacks. That's ridiculous. Were you even blocking that guy? Like, that's where your high school coach is like, dude, you got to give me a look. Like, what are you doing? Like, he was a menace, though, coming off of the side, just attacking and just being aggressive. Like, this dude is a beast. And recovered one fumble and forced three fumbles, and he won the Buchanan Award. Like, if you're not sure why this guy is the man to remember, the award is enough, but the stats as well, especially the sacks. When you have dude was one sack away from 20, that's stupid. You weren't blocking him, but Isaiah Land is the dude you got to know about if you're a FAMU fan or not. If you're not a FAMU fan, don't pay him no attention. Don't block number 31. He ain't gonna do nothing. I promise you, he ain't gonna hurt nobody. I'm lying. That's why I touch my nose. But Isaiah Land is a talent, y'all. I'll be honest. If if I were to equate him to a previous player, not current, because it's something he did, but I would say Telvin Smith. If you're an FSU fan, or God bless you if you're Jacksonville Jaguar fans, I mean, we all need to be masochists at some point in time in life, but I'm not one of them. I'll cheer for the Jaguars. I ain't gonna be no fan. I can't do it. But Telvin Smith, if you looked at what he did in the NFL, I think Isaiah Land will definitely be able to do something like that as far as just an undersized linebacker. That is just a freaking terror. Like, I mean, he's just constantly making plays. And you oftentimes see Isaiah Land in a three-point stance. I apologize. And that's just different. Like, he's 6'4", 215 pounds. I believe Telvin Smith was 6'3", 215 when he was with the Jaguars. And he was a fifth round pick. I wonder if that's comparable as far as to Isaiah Land and whatnot. It would be very interesting to see if someone draws that comparison other than me and says, who does he remind me of? Oh, crap. He might remind me a little bit of Telvin Smith body wise. Now, how does he do in coverage is going to be a question. But with those kind of numbers, I really feel like he could be a true edge rusher because of the number of players that you have that are in the linebacker area. I was trying to find a different way of saying it, but I did the kind of the weird eye thing where I'm thinking, and I do watch the videos. I know I'd be doing that. The next one is a senior, another senior. So Isaiah Land is a senior. The other one is Darius Fagin, and he was recently featured in the Tallahassee Democrat article by the Democrats beat writer. Great job. That young guy is on it. He was on O&G Strike Zone yesterday, killing it. But Darius Fagin, he played in, and I got the stats on both sides here. So I looked to the left, but I realized you're looking at that information. He is number 27. So for anybody that is kind of like me, like, what's his number? Who he is? That's number 27. I do that with my dad sometimes. Like, who that is? Number 27. Oh, okay. Thank you. I can't read his name. So, number 27, the Darius Fagin. He's a 6 foot, 215-pound graduate student from Miami Southridge. That's down there at the bottom. And he transferred from Syracuse University. The head coach is Dino Baber. Good luck to that brother. And it says he's from Goulds, Florida. I'm from Florida, but I don't know. I don't know where every place is. I'm pretty sure it's down south though. And Fagin played in 12 games. He also had 25 solo tackles, 18 assists, meaning 43 tackles total, one interception, and two forced fumbles. That's stupid. I'm sorry. FAMU's linebackers last year were very involved. If just by looking at the stats and the data, but go back and watch some of the games. They have a good amount of gang tackles, even in the pictures where you don't want to see where we're playing like Jackson State. We lost at one point. You're able to see that a lot of times gang tackle. And I remember we had a football coach when I was in high school. That was his thing, gang tackle, gang tackle. I'm like, dude, just chill out. But it works. And you're able to see that FAMU's linebackers are very active. But we also had a very good defensive line. If you're familiar with the Fangs Up podcast, you already know who my favorite player was last year. Savion Williams. I'm gonna say it now. That was my favorite player last year. And he's a very friendly guy. I got to meet him at the spring game. Really nice guy. Wish him the best. Um, got picked up by the Jets. I haven't checked lately, but that was my favorite guy last year. Man, like I liked Marquise Bell too. Um, Bishop Bonnet too. Bishop Bonnet was one of my favorites. But Savion was he just had that little extra dog to him that I like. Like I was like, okay, yeah, that resonated with me to a certain degree. So I was excited about that. Y'all got to forgive me. I looked up and I saw the Detroit Red Wings made a pick. I like hockey. The Red Wings are no longer my favorite team. The Florida Panthers are. But those are two guys you need to look out for. If you're a FAMU fan, two guys that are returning from last year's roster, Isaiah Land. Oh my gosh. I would sneeze on live. And the Darius Fagin. Oh my gosh. I was like, no, I wasn't ready. And I will poke fun of myself because I'm me. Now they sleeping on you. Who are two dudes on the FAMU roster that you may not know about? I got two of them that you definitely need to know about. You need to know about them because these guys might start. I'm just being honest with you. I looked at some of our other guys here and I was like, who else? I saw Demetrius Powell up there. I see you over there. 9 games, 9 tackles, 9 solo tackles. I'm sorry. I stole something from you. 13 tackles on the season. I also see, John Chaney Jr. I see some of y'all, but I didn't forget about you. I left you out for now, but don't think I'm not looking. I got eyes, and so I'm cheering for you. But two dudes that just came in, whew, and this one stood out to me. Isaiah Major, he stood out the spring game. I remember after that game, it's like, who's that? That dude right there. Who him? Cause he good. That boy good. Yeah, yeah. I was over there like no weird stuff, but that guy's a football player. He is Isaiah Major. He's number 0. So again, who is he? Number 0, at least right now. Now he may change his number. If he changes his number, don't charge me. I didn't do it. But he's currently number 0. He's a 6 foot, 220 pound junior from Independence Community College, also called Dream U. If you watch Last Chance University, they were the school with the Pirates. I want to say that's the school where one of the quarterbacks from FSU went. It is. It is. I don't want to say the kids. I forget the kid's name, and I don't want to say something to like besmirch his name because he did have some other things going on. But out of respect, though, they had that kid that was there, and a couple other guys. The defensive end that just came out of Florida State, Johnson, he was there as well. Like that Indy team was stacked. Like y'all had a good football team over there in Independence, Kansas. But he's originally from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I wonder if he's a Thunder fan. But he played in 6 games. He had 15 solo tackles and 15 assisted tackles. I mean, I wasn't a math major, I was a history major, but 15 and 15 is 30 tackles in 6 games. That's not a little bit of number. That's a good amount of tackles. And he had 1.5 sacks. And he was a difference maker on even in the spring game. I remember kind of like, yo, that dude, yeah, that guy. Like again, I kept noticing him like on the field. Like this dude is different. It's just how he played. He had a little bit of thump to him, and I just noticed him. I was like, this guy's different. And then they brought him to us to speak to after the game, and I was like, yo, that dude's good. He was really nice, really friendly guy. He actually knew one of my former students, and shout out B Cross. And he was really good. Like I was okay. So nice gentleman there. Other dude that you need to know about. I told y'all we're gonna keep you overly long. Now, if you want the longer version, listen to the pod that I dropped, the audio version. But the YouTube version, we right at 30 minutes, almost 22 and some change. And yeah, I looked on my phone. I got the ears in. I'm listening to myself, everything. So the last one is Eric Horn. He's currently number 5. If he changed his number, it's not my fault. Well, he's a 6'1", 223 pound linebacker from, I'm calling it FAMU East, Rains High School. Go Vikings. I'm sorry. I'm not from Jacksonville. I'm not from Duval, but I'm a fan. Like Rains, y'all keep doing what you're doing. Like I got one football team I like in Jacksonville, and it's not the Jaguars. It's definitely the Sharks. It's the arena football team. They actually win games, but he is from Rains High School, Eric Horn. He played in 12 games last year, 7 solo tackles, 13 assisted, 20 total. Okay, it's 20 tackles, but he played in the Big 12 where they tend to throw the ball quite a bit. And he played schools like Texas, Oklahoma, just to give an example, as well as the University of Iowa because he was at Iowa State. And I like that. I think that's that level of competition and being able to potentially translate that and put that into a linebacker room with some dudes. Like, I mean, that you can't say any other way that FAMU has dudes at linebacker. I think that's a good combination. And personally, I wonder and speculate. I know a lot of us are very traditional as far as our thinking of defense. Somebody runs a 4-3, somebody runs a 3-4. I don't like either one of those. I prefer a 4-2-5. And I love the idea of potentially running a 4-2-5 and putting Isaiah Land at that safety position, that kind of robber, because in a 4-2-5, you have the 4 defensive linemen, you have the 2 linebackers, then you have 2 safeties, 2 strong safeties, free safety, and then the corners. What if one of those strong safeties was Isaiah Land, and you use him as an edge rusher, like a dedicated edge rusher who then has a traditional defensive end to fight over the tackle. So all of a sudden, you've gone from creating a really a four-man line to a five-man line, which I mean, it's going to have its disadvantages in passing concepts at times. But if your defense is truly disruptive, that's amazing. And that's going to be somebody that's going to draw attention and potentially keep at least the halfback back there to block because you have to you can't allow a person that had 19 sacks the previous season to just run roughshod through your defense. That's irresponsible at the least and dumb at the most. The guy is a monster. And then you're over here on the other side, you're putting potential guys like if Raymond Cuts comes through, you got those kind of guys. I mean, you have FAMU's defensive line that was good. FAMU's, and you're bringing back Gentle Hunt on the inside, 5'11", 295. Last time I checked, I that's not something that you are going to want to just leave there and haphazardly have as a just free ranging person. Now, in times he's going to have to cover, and if that is the case, it is what it is. But at the same point, he's going to function as a linebacker anyway. At the next level, he's going to project as either a linebacker or edge rusher. He's going to need to be able to cover. What happens if you kind of have that though? Like have really 5-on-5 line, like offensive line, defensive line, and then if you have a tight end going against uh, Isaiah Land, it's a mismatch. I mean, unless the tight end is big and lumbering, more than likely that's a problem. I'm just thinking out loud and just projecting that could be a lot of fun. Just as a person that's a lay football mind, I'm gonna say it like that. So that is the live, y'all. And we do have the longer version. If you would like the longer audio version, y'all know the audio version is always longer than the live stream, just because I try to give you something you can consume in 30 minutes. Maybe while you're eating your steak, eating your dinner, whatever. Give you something that you can watch really quickly. If you have been interested and you've liked what's been said, please like, subscribe. I've heard it helps the algorithms. I cannot tell you if it does or does not, but I do appreciate anyone who does subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get those subscribers up as much as possible so that you can see every time that Fangs Up goes live. We're gonna do another live on Sunday. Should be about 8:30. And Coach Jay Moody's coming back, and we're gonna talk about the Central Florida Showcase. And we're gonna actually interview one of the student athletes and talk to them. He's a recent commit to the University of Illinois. And we're gonna ask him, hey man, why Illinois? I've no problem with Illinois. One of my former students just left Illinois. He transferred, not transferred, he got drafted to the Detroit Lions. Congratulations, Kirby. But that is the show, y'all. We kept it right about under 30 minutes. I'm proud of that. But we're gonna see you again on Sunday, 8:30. Y'all gonna see the live come up, and it's gonna be on Facebook. Also gonna be on the HBCU Digital Network. Look at that. We working on this. And it's also going to be on other platforms as well, most notably YouTube as well. So that being said, I thank y'all for your time. Thank y'all for listening. And we're gonna work on keep getting this going. Make this a twice a week thing. Sundays and Thursdays, 8 o'clock, 8:30. Come chill with your mans. As always, y'all, it's gonna always be Fangs Up.